Hello everyone, this is Mansi from Java Techies. So today I have got a topic related to HashMap for you. Multiple questions that we will address along with the basic concept of HashMap, and we will also go through some of the code examples. I'll show you a small demo of how it works. So this is based on your feedback that we want some kind of HashMap related session. So that is why I am here today presenting this session to you with overall details of HashMap along with the code examples of it. So let's see it one by one. So we will see how the hashing is done and how its complete working mechanism works. And apart from that, we will see how to search, insert, and remove, entries from HashMap and the time complexities of each of them. And at the end, we will see it should not why it is not used in a multi-threaded environment. So let's go through all of this one by one. So coming on to the first part, what is actually a hash map? A hash map is a data structure into which you can actually store your data into key value pairs. There is no limitation of what type of key, what type of value it is. You can always provide any kind of keys and values to the hash map. So it stores actually all the data into key value pairs where the key is unique and you can have duplicate values. So internally, HashMap uses hash table implementation, and the HashMap class actually extends the abstract map class which implements the map interface. Now let's move on to the next one. So what are the important points about HashMap? Going over them one by one. So HashMap uses static inner class node which has a key value for storing the entries into the map. So as we all know that internally it stores the data into key value pairs in form of linked list. So there, that is why we have this node class over here. So it internally stores data into a node that forms the key value pairs, and it is actually a linked list. Now the second one is HashMap uses hashcode and equals method on keys for the get and put operations. So as soon as you perform a put or you do a get, it internally calculates the hash code. That is why it is advised to properly override the hash code and equals method when you are trying to have some custom implementation of keys and values into your hash map so that it behaves properly and it gives you better performance. If you do not override these methods, it will pick up these hash code and equals implementation of the object class. So you need to actually every time you go for some custom kind of objects as your keys and values, so it's better to override the hash code and equals method for a better performance. Now, the next one is the HashMap class does not preserve the order of insertion of entries. So as you know, this is a hash map, so it doesn't preserve the order of insertion. Like you are storing, like for example, first time you do a put on key 1 and value A, and then you put a key 2 and value D. It is not guaranteed that at the time you print those values in the hash map, it will print like 1A and 2B. It can print in random order. So it does not preserve it. If you want it to preserve the insertion order, then it is advised to use linked hash map implementation of the map interface so that you can actually preserve the order of insertion of into the map. Now the next one is HashMap has multiple buckets which contain a head reference to a singly linked list. That means there would be as many linked lists as there in the bucket. So this means that there, as soon as you create a hash map, like whenever you do a new hash map, by default it actually starts with a bucket size of 16, and as soon as you do some put, then it actually inserts a node which uses a singly linked list, and your bucket is actually internally it is an array. So that array has a reference to the first node of that particular linked list that is there. I can explain this to you in detail in the next slide where I have a diagram, so it can be better understood. And also there is this load factor. So as soon as in HashMap the load factor is almost 0.75. That means if your HashMap is already occupied by 75%, it will automatically regrow its size. HashMap allows at most one null key and multiple null values. As I mentioned that the key has to be unique and you can have multiple duplicate values. So it allows you one null key and multiple null values. This is also different from hash table. Hash table does not allow any kind of null key. So here in case of HashMap, it will allow you one null key and you can have as many null values as you want. Apart from that, hash map is almost similar to hash table, except it is non-synchronized and allows us, yeah, I already mentioned it allows one null key and multiple null values. Apart from that, it is non-synchronized. That means in a multi-threaded environment, this does not guarantee that it will be actually accessed one by each thread, because this is not synchronized. So multiple threads may access it at the same time. However, if you talk about hash table, that is synchronized in nature. So if you want synchronized kind of a map, you can go for either synchronized map or you can go for concurrent hash map. So out of these two, obviously concurrent hash map is better in performance, because the locking is done into concurrent hash map based on segments, and the entire map is not logged if there is some write operation. So now, okay, so I have an important note which I already mentioned, although, so Java hash map is not thread safe, and it is not advised to use it in case of a multi-threaded application. For the multi-threaded application, you can use concurrent hash map, and also you can go for synchronized map, but that is not as good as concurrent hash map as far as performance is concerned. So it is always advised to use concurrent hash map in cases where you have a multi-threaded environment and you focus on the performance of the map. Now, okay, the next is how to initialize the constructor with our own capacity and load factor. As I mentioned, if you do not provide anything like this one, right, map, and I have a map which has a key of type string and a value of type long with my phone book, and I'm creating a new hash map. Here I'm not providing anything as part of constructor. So by default the bucket size will be 16 and the load factor will be 0.75 that I already mentioned. Now, if I want to provide my custom bucket size, I don't want it to be 16. My application is huge and I am saving data at the time of starting the application. It's initially I know, okay, this much is at least what I would need. So what I do is I provide this bucket size to the constructor itself at the time of creation of the hash map. So here you can see in the new hash map, you can inside the constructor you can provide this 64 as the size. So it will create a bucket size of 64 instead of 16 initially, and the load factor will be the same because I haven't provided a load factor over here. Now let's move on to the next one. Now here you can see in the implementation I am providing the bucket size as 128, and the load factor, which is float in nature, I am providing is at 0.90. So here if you do something like this, it will create a bucket size of 128 and the load factor will be 0.9 instead of 0.75, which is the default value. And also you can like definitely copy an entire thing into your hash map by providing it as part of constructor. So the constructor also allows something like this. So this will copy the entire parent's phone book to this my phone book completely at the time of creation of the hash map. let's move ahead. So these are the different kind of methods that we use as part of hash map related operations. So we usually check the contains key. So it actually takes the key as the argument. So you can provide the key as the argument and it will return the boolean, that is true or false. So if that key that you provide as part of the argument of this particular contains key method is already present in the hash map, it will return true. Otherwise, it is going to return you false. Going to return false. You can see here it has this boolean return type, and here also you provide the value as the parameter. Now the next method is put. Put will contain as parameter the key, comma the value that you have. So this means that whenever you do a put operation, it actually stores that data, whatever key you provide and whatever value you provide as part of that put operation. And in case if suppose you provide a key that is already present, it doesn't throw an error, it simply replaces the previous value with a new one that you are trying to put into the hash map. Apart from that, we also have a get operation. This is used to fetch the value based on a specific key from the hash map. So you can see here you can provide the key and you will as a return you will get the value out of it. Next one is put all. So it copies all the data from the specified map to the current map. So these mappings will replace any of the mapping that are present previously. Apart from that, another one that we have is remove. So what remove takes in? It takes in a kind of a key. So if you provide that particular key and that key is present into your hash map, it is going to delete that entry for you. Another one is empty. So it checks if map is empty or not. So this is another method that we usually use for operating on a map. So it returns boolean. If it is empty, it is going to return you true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. Another very important method is size. It returns you the into integer the number of keys or number of entries that are there into the hash map. So you get the entries, the number of entries that are there in the hash map. Now coming on to the next very important question that is usually asked into the interviews is the internal functioning of a hash map. So let's go through it in a detailed manner. So first of all, you can see that hash map uses the inner static class that I mentioned, node, which has something like this key value. So this node actually is a linked list node that it uses for storing the entries in the map. By entry, I mean a pair of key and value. Okay, that means each entry in hash map is a node. Okay, so then entry will actually be a node which contains the key and value of that particular data that you are trying to put into the hash map or store into the hash map. So internally what happens is as soon as you do a map.put, it actually internally calculates the hash code of the key object that you are trying to put into the hash map. Once this hash code is further being used by hash function to find the index of the bucket onto which this new entry has to be added. So as soon as you do a hash map dot put, it will actually what it will do is it will use the hash code method to calculate the hash code of that particular key that you're trying to add into the hash map or put into the hash map being specific. So if you're trying to put some key, what it will do is it will calculate the hash code and it will do a mod by capacity. So initially if you haven't provided any kind of capacity to the constructor of the hash map, it will have initially 16 as the capacity. So suppose my hash code was something like X, okay, it will be something numeric, like suppose it is 142, okay, and then what it will do is once it gets the hash code from the hash code method, it will do a mod by capacity. So initially the capacity, default capacity is 16. So what it will do is 142 mod 16. Whatever value will it be on that particular index, it will create a node that will contain the key value, that will store the key value on that particular index. I hope that is clear. So as part of this, if you do not override this hash code method, it will use the implementation of object class hash code method, and based on that, it will actually find out the bucket for you. So it is advised, if you want a better performance of the hash map and you are using some kind of customized objects like employee, student or something like that, some XYZ kind of customized object, it is advised to override the hash code and equals method properly so that you get a better performance. Now the next thing is HashMap uses multiple buckets and each bucket points to a singly linked list where the entries, that is the node, are stored. So those multiple buckets, what do you mean by buckets? Buckets are internally array. If you do not specify the size, it will be of size 16, and what it will do is every bucket will actually point to a singly linked list that will be there, and that linked list will store the entry into key value pair. Now the next point is, once the bucket is identified by hash function using hash code, the hash code is used to check if there is already a key present with the same hash code or not in the bucket. So it actually checks if that bucket already contains a key, because keys are unique. We need to check if there is already a key. What we will do is we will replace the value. If there is not the key, then we will create a new node and store the entry into it or key value pair into it. So next one is, if there already exists a key with the same hash code, then the equals method is used on the key. If the equals method returns true, that means that the key is equal to the one that you are trying to put. And what will happen is it will replace the existing value that was already present for that previous key with the new value that you are trying to put. Otherwise, it is going to create a new node, a new singly linked list node for you with the key value that you have provided to it. Now the last one is, if there is no key with this, okay, I already went through it. If there is no key with the same hash code in the bucket found by the hash function, a new node will be created on that particular bucket. Let's move on to the next one. So this is through a diagram I was trying to explain whatever I was trying to explain. So suppose now I have some kind of, I'm trying to put some kind of data like 1 comma a into my hash map. So what will happen is it will actually, okay, suppose I do not override the hash code method and it uses the uh, object class hash code method, or for example I override the hash code method, I am returning the same value like return 100 I have written in the hash code method. What will happen, it will always return the same value. So initially, like you can see, this is the array, so these are the buckets. Here it is shown up to 7, but usually if you initialize it, so it will be 16 buckets like this. And okay, suppose I do a put of 1 comma a and it returns me a hash code of 100 value. It will be 100 mod 16, and suppose it lands onto this 4th bucket. So what it will do is, for the first key, suppose I'm inserting key 1 and v1. So for the first key, it will create a singly linked list, that is a node of singly linked list. So this 4 will actually point to this particular node, and it will insert those key value pair, the entire entry, it will store over here. Now I'm trying to insert K2 and V2. What will happen is, again it will calculate the hash code, which will be 100 again returned, if that is returning the same thing for instance. So it will be 100 mod 16 for example, and then again suppose it lands to this particular 4th bucket. Now what will happen is it will check for the equals. It will just see, okay, this is K1 and now I am trying to insert K2. So K2 and K1 are not equal. Using the equals method, it will check. So this is not equal. That means it will create a new node over here, and this particular node K1, the previous node, will actually point to the new node on this fourth bucket. Now, for instance, I have K3, similar thing will happen, and suppose I insert these 5 values. Now, suppose after this fifth one, I again try to insert K5 and V5. What will happen? Again, I get 100 as my hash code and I do a mod 16. I land up to this particular bucket, fourth bucket. Now, it checks for each node, and on K5, what happens is it checks, okay, I am trying to insert K5 and K5 is already present here using the equals method. So that means it is already present. It is not going to create a new node. It will just replace this K5 value. Suppose previously it was, I'm just giving you an example. Suppose it was V5 and now I'm trying to insert K5 comma V6. So what will happen is K5 is already present. So this V5 will be replaced by V6 over here. This is just an example. I hope this is clear to you. So this is the singly linked list that is formed on the same bucket. So this kind of performance issues you can actually face if you do not properly override the equals and hash code method. So here you can see usually the put operation and the get operation is of O1 complexity in hash map. But what happens is if you land up to the same bucket every time, then obviously the get operation will have a larger complexity. In case of Java 7, so if you see this will have on of complexity in the get operation. Also, for these things we will see in the code. I have also written a code, so I'll show you that particular code, how this thing is happening. And you can also see, like in the above example, we assume that these 5 keys have same hash code. So the bucket number or index returned by hash function would be the same for all these 5 keys. So in this case, it is 4, right? And hence they are put into the same bucket. Here you can see the singly linked list is formed and all the nodes are added to the same bucket. So, and later on we compare the equals method, as I already explained you. So this is the entire concept of internal functioning of hash map. Now let's move on to the next part. So changes after Java 8. So that part I explained you was till Java 7, and now after Java 8, this singly linked list is actually converted to a self-balancing binary search tree. So you can see here, like on bucket 4, this is actually converted into a self-balancing binary search tree in case of Java 8. So before Java 8, we used to have that singly linked list implementation, but now this has been moved to BST. The reason being single self-balancing BST, which could be red black tree or AVL tree. So why this is included? So it is included in order to improve the performance of the hash map in case your hash map is not properly maintained, or you have a lot of data into your hash map on some buckets. So the search operation becomes slower, because if you have a singly linked list and there are a lot of nodes on a particular bucket, so it is going to take on of complexity to fetch the data from that particular hash map. So which is really bad. On is not that much good, because of which they decided to move this singly linked list to a self-balancing BST, which can be, you can say, red black tree or AVL tree. So in case of red black tree or AVL tree, for the get operation, it instead of on, it will have O log n as the worst case scenario complexity. I'm not talking about good case. Good case will be O1, but in worst case scenario, when there is a lot of data onto a particular, there are a lot of entries or nodes, you can say, onto a particular bucket. In that case, that we call as worst case scenario. So in case of singly linked list, which is present up to Java 7, it will have on complexity, whereas in case of Java 8, it has been moved to a self-balancing binary search tree. In that case, it will have O log n of complexity as the worst case scenario. Now moving ahead, so as we talked about complexities earlier also, I'll just go through it once again. So in a fairly distributed hash map where the entries are properly distributed into all the buckets, the hash map has O1 of complexity for searching, insertion and delete operation. However, in the worst case scenario up to Java 7, since there are a lot of entries onto particular buckets, so the worst case time complexity can be on for search, insert and delete operations. And in case where threshold for converting this linked list to a self-balancing binary tree, which is there into Java 8 and above versions, there for the operations such as search, insertion, deletion, it will have O log n as the worst case complexity because it uses self-balancing, or you can say AVL and red black trees for as the internal data structure instead of linked lists. Now let's move ahead. Another question is why hash map should not be used in multi-threaded environment. Now the reason for not using hash map in multi-threaded environment is it is actually not thread safe in nature. So if you have a hash map object and multiple threads are trying to access that particular object, or you can say get the data from that object or trying to add data simultaneously, what happens is if multiple threads are trying to access it, since it doesn't have any kind of you can say thread safety, it's not thread safe in nature, because of which there can be some inconsistency issue, like at the same time some thread is trying to put some data and it tries to update some existing key, and at the same time some thread is trying to get the data out of that same key. So it might introduce some kind of inconsistency issue, because of which it is not advised to use multi-threaded into multi-threaded environments. We do not use hash map. Now the question is what data structure instead of hash map we can use. So there you have two options with you. One is synchronized map and the other one is concurrent hash map. Synchronized map, if you talk about, so into synchronized map, the entire map object gets logged during the read as well as the write operations, which is very costly as far as performance is concerned. Now, if you talk about concurrent hash map, in case of concurrent hash map, we have segment level locking, which means at the time of read operation, there is no log that is there on the concurrent hash map. It will not put any kind of log. If you are trying to write, then it will just log the segment onto which you are writing. Other segments will not be logged, so other threads can read from rest of the segments. Only that particular thread, or even write from others, write onto other segments at the same time. Only the thread that is writing to that particular segment, that particular segment will only be logged. So it is advised to use concurrent hash map in case of multi-threaded environment, because that is better in performance and also provide you thread safety. Okay, so I have a list of questions. This I'll come to you later on. First, let's just see it through a coding example. I have some piece of code ready, so let's just run that and understand it. Yeah, so now using this code example, I'll just show you whatever we discussed recently. So first of all, I'm going to show you the put operation. I'm trying to put some values into the hash map and I'll show you how it works. Apart from that, I will also show you the get operation, and we will also see if suppose I do not override the equals and hash code method, how does the hash map behave? And in cases if I override the equals and hash code method, then how the hash map behaves. Apart from this, we will also see null as the key and multiple null keys, the behavior of the hash map, along with that the values with the same key that I actually told you that if the key is same, it will replace the value of the latest key that you are trying to put into the entry. Apart from this, we will also see how to remove a value and check if key or value is present or not in the map using the contains key. And we will also see the functionality of put if absent and compute method. So let's go over these one by one. Let me just explain you. So I have a map over here in which my key is of type employee and my value is of type integer. So I've created a new hash map. So initially it will create a bucket size of 16. Now what I have done is into the hash map I have done these things. Okay, first let me show you the employee class. So this is my employee class. It simply has three attributes: the name of the employee, the ID of the employee, and the salary of the employee. Apart from this, you can see I have overwritten the hash code and equals method. So first of all, let me show you, if you have overridden the hash code and equals method, how it behaves, and in case you do not override them, how it behaves. So what I've done is I've done simply this map dot put. I'm using, inside the put I'm providing a new employee Java with ID as 1 and salary as 10,000, and my value is 1. Again, I'm putting into new employee techies with ID as 2 and 20,000 as the salary, and the value is 2. Again, into my key, this is my other key, techies, value is 2. So these two keys are similar, you can see. So what will happen, as soon as you do a put of this, it will actually have this as the key and this is the value. Now you put this line number 26. When you execute, what will happen is these two keys are same. So it is going to override this 2 with 3. Now upon executing this line number 27, you can see that this value and this value, this key and this key, sorry, these are the keys. So these keys are same. So it will override this value from 3 to 4. So what should be the output? Should be first of all this Java, this particular employee with name Java should be printed with value 1, and then it will print this techies employee with value as 4. So let's just execute this. So here you can see it printed Java with the value as 1 and techies is printed with 4 value. That means that these three, since these three keys were same, it took the latest one that you tried to put. And also from this output you can see it does not maintain the order of insertion. It gives you an output as into a random order. Now let me just try commenting this equals and hash code method. So you can see I have commented this equals and hash code method that I had overridden. So now this will use the equals and hash code method of the object class. So let's just see what happens. So here now you can see it has printed all the values. It has printed Java, and earlier on we were seeing after overriding this thing was getting printed, this employee techies with value 4, but you can see now 2 and 3, the rest of the 2 meaning to say these two entries are also getting printed when it is using the hash code and equals method of object class. Now what is the reason behind it? The reason is, since you are here doing a new employee, that means it is considering all these three employees. So if you know that the equals method in the object class compares not only the values, it also compares the references. So you can see every time you are doing a new employee, that means it is getting allocated to a different memory. So the equals method in the object class will consider all these three employees as different because the memory location is different. Since these three are different, it doesn't match the equals criteria, so it doesn't overwrite. It actually creates new nodes for all these three. So this is how it hampers the performance, and also it behaves differently. So you need to properly override the equals and hash code method based on your functionality. Okay, so let me just okay, I have uncommented that hash code and equals. Now I will try with multiple null values. So here you can see in my example, I am going to put these two null keys along with value 5 and 6. Now what should happen? As per what I explained you earlier, there there is only one null key present in the hash map. There can be only one null key but multiple null values. So as you can see, based on my explanation, what it will do is it will try to put null comma 5. It will add a entry to the bucket as null comma 5, and then again when it tries to do a null comma 6 using the equals, it already checks that null key is already present, so it replaces this 5 with 6. So ideally the output should be null comma 6. Now let's just try running it and see what's the output we get. So you can see key I am getting as null and the value is 6. So this thing is getting printed. Now moving on to the next one. So what is put if absent? Put if absent actually checks if that key is already present or not. If that particular key is present, it actually tries not to put this particular data into it. If it is not present, then only it adds. So you can see I have this techies over here, which is having the employee object as techies comma 2 comma 20,000. So this is already I have put, this is already present. So ideally it should not add any additional key, and the value output should be this one, this 4, because this is the latest one. Now let's just run it. So you can see still this value is 4. That means it didn't put any of the key that was already present in the hash map. Now let me comment all these. So if this particular key is not already present, now it will add with value as 7. So you can see here techies is added with value 7 with this put if absent method. Now let's move on to the next one, that is we will try to remove a value from the hash map. So how to do that? We use the remove method and provide the key as part of it. So I am providing null. That means it will remove this particular entry that was getting printed. Now let's just try on this one. So you can see now that is not getting printed. It removed the null. Now we will see how contains key and contains value work. So as I already explained, contains key and contain value returns boolean. In case that particular key is present, it will return true. If it is not present, contains key will return false. Similarly, for contains value, if that value is already present, it will return true. If that value is not present in the hash map, it will return false. So here I am checking for contains key techies. It will return true because that is already present. Again, I am checking for 4. 4 is already present, so it will return true. Let's just try running this. So you can see here contains key techies is true and 4 is true. You can see techies is there and 4 value 4 is there. Now if I try to comment this one, so value will be updated as 3. 3. So you can see value is now 3. So for value 4, it returned me false. The contains value method returned false. However, since this key is already present techies, so it is returning true. The contains key method. Now if I try commenting this techies part, it will also return false. So you can see. Okay. Okay, I have to also comment this put if absent because see it is showing value as 7, right? Yeah, so you can see now contains keys also first because now techies is not present. Now let's just see the compute part as well. Okay. So this is my compute method that I have written. So what compute does is, compute is a method in the hashmap class itself, and what it does is it actually is used to update the value in a particular corresponding to a particular key. So what it does is as a parameter you can see it takes the key along with by function as the parameters out of it, and what it does is it automatically updates the value for the given key in the hash map. So you can see I have taken this as key comma value pair. I'm checking if my value is not equal to null, then I'm trying to update the value. I'm adding 5 to it. So my key is techies over here. Key comma by function is the arguments that compute method takes. So my key is techies. If you see, okay, let me just first. Okay, not this one. Okay, fine. Let me try commenting this one. Okay. So without this, my key is techies and the value is 4. You can see. So if in techies the key is techies and the value is 4, I am checking if value is not equal to null. So this condition will be true, and then what I am returning is I am taking the value and adding 5 to it. So 4 plus 5 is 9. So ideally, after updating this, if this method works properly, it should actually have the value as 9. Now let's just run it. So here you can see it updated the value to 9 for the techies key. So that's it from my side for this particular demo example. Now let's move on to the questions that we had in the PPT. So these are the set of questions that I have for you. So the first one is, how does put method of hash map works in Java? So as we already discussed, as soon as you do a put on the hash map, it internally calculates the hash code. So depending on if you have overridden the hash code, it will use the overridden implementation, that is your implementation. If you haven't done that, it will use the implementation of object class. As soon as it gets the hash code, it does a mod by capacity and finds out the bucket onto which it has to insert a node or entry in which it will store the data in form of key value pair. Once that is done, using the equals method, it checks if the key that it is trying to put is already present in the hash map or not. If it is already present, what it will do is it will override the value that was already present in that particular entry for that key. Otherwise, it will create a new node in the form of singly linked list and insert it on that particular bucket. Apart from this, if you talk about Java 8, so instead of the singly linked list, it will actually use the self-balancing binary search tree for that particular implementation, which is better in performance. Now let's move on to the next question. What is the requirement for an object to be used as a key or value in HashMap? So if we want to use customized objects or we want our own implementations, then we should ideally override the hash code and equals method in order for our HashMap to behave properly and have better performance. Now the next question is, what will happen if you try to store a key which is already present in HashMap? So this we have already discussed and seen as part of the code demo that I showed you. So if a particular key is already present, the value of that particular key gets replaced by the new value that we are trying to put. Now the next is, can you store a null key in Java HashMap? Yes, we can store one null key in a Java HashMap. Next one is, can you store a null value inside a hash map in Java? Yes, we can store null values in hash map. In fact, we can have multiple null values as part of hash map. Apart from this, the next question is, how does hash map handle collision in Java? So first of all, what is a collision in Java? What is a collision in hash map in Java? So as soon as the hash code gets calculated and you do a mod by capacity, if it lands up to the same bucket again, so that is what is called a collision. Now how to handle this collision? Suppose there is already a node onto that particular bucket, and now again the hash code mod 16 landed to the same bucket, which will cause a collision. So it is usually resolved by the equals method. If you have provided your own implementation of equals, that it will use, otherwise it is going to use the equals method of object class. What it will do is it will compare the key that is already present onto that particular bucket. If that is same, it is going to replace the previous value. If that is not same, it is going to create a new node or entry consisting of the key value pair as part of a singly linked list onto that particular bucket. In case of Java 8 and above versions, instead of that particular linked list, it is going to create a self-balancing binary search tree. Now the next question is, which data structure is used to implement hash map in Java? So we usually use arrays, which consist of the bucket and the singly linked list that contains the nodes and the entries into which stores the key value pair. This is up to Java 7. Java 8 and above versions, in place of that particular singly linked list, it is replaced by self-balancing binary search tree, or you can say AVL or red black trees. Now coming on to the next question, can you store a duplicate key in hash map? No, we cannot store a duplicate key in hash map. If you want to do that, now the next question is, can you store the duplicate value in hash map? Yes, we can have multiple duplicate values in hash map. That is not an issue. Now the next question is hash map thread safe in Java? No, hash map is not thread safe in Java. Next one is, what will happen if you use hash map in a multi-threaded Java application? So if you use a hash map in a multi-threaded Java application, multiple threads will try to access the hash map and they will try to update or fetch data from the hash map simultaneously, which can cause some inconsistency issues. So in that case, we use synchronized or concurrent hash map in order to have better, you can say, in order to resolve all the inconsistency issues in case of a multi-threaded environment. What are the different ways to iterate over hash map in Java? So there are certain ways to iterate over hash map in Java. You can use the key set and iterator, or either you can use the entry set and iterator. Along with that, you can also use an alternative approach by using the entry set along with enhanced for loop. And apart from that, you can also use key set and get method. Now the next question is, what is load factor in a hash map? So load factor is something that determines up to which percentage your hash map gets filled so that you increase the capacity of your hash map. By default it is 0.75. So if your hash map is filled to that particular extent, it will increase its capacity from the initial limit to some upgraded limit, or you can say beyond the load factor your hash map starts to grow automatically or dynamically, you can say. So the next question is, how does resizing happens in a hash map? So the resizing happens when the map becomes full, or you can say when the size of the map crosses the load factor. So for example, the initial load factor by default is 0.75. That means if the hash map becomes 75% occupied, or you can say it gets occupied to 75%, so in that case it will try to trigger the resizing. So what happens in resizing? So it involves the copying of array. So you can say that first the bucket size, so suppose initially you had a bucket size of 16, so it will get doubled. That means it will move to 32. So the bucket size will be 32 and the old entries that were already present to the hash map are copied to the new bucket. So the next question is, how many entries you can store in a hash map? What is the maximum limit? So there is no maximum limit for hash map. You can store as many as entries as you want, because when you run out of the bucket, entries will be added to the linked list, which can support an infinite number of entries. So in that case, you do not have any such limit, maximum limit that you can store. So the next question is, what is the difference between capacity and size of a map? So capacity is the initial capacity, or you can say the size of the bucket, whereas size of hash map is number of keys or number of entries that are present in the hash map. Now the question is, next question is, what will happen if two different keys of hash map return the same hash code? So if two different keys of hash map return the same hash code, they will end up into the same bucket. Hence there will be a collision, as I already explained. So this will be a scenario where there will be collision. So they will be stored in the linked list in form of a linked list. In case of collision, we will check for equals if they are equal. Since they are here it is mentioned that they are different keys, so there will be two different linked list nodes that will be added to that particular bucket. So that's it from my end. I think I'm done with the questions. Thanks all. Please do like, share and subscribe. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.